Okay, I won't be talking too loud because I don't know who's out and around in my neighborhood, and I'm thinking I'm more crazy than they already do. So I have been working on this for about a week. This is the first test of this. I've had to do some tweaks before I started the camera, and this is my basic setup. It is, what you see here is these batteries are going through this little buck converter to power the servos. This was my test servo. This is the voltage sense, which I forgot I've got to hook up. This is, of course, the Pololu, and it's connected to a laptop running the software with my script. And I had to tweak the script because I had the settings backwards for the servo. Basically, the way it's supposed to work is you can either hit this button and it will maximize the throttle, and then you start the engine, and then it should just start controlling the voltage. I don't know what it's going to do. If you want to have it put the engine in idle and stop being in governor, you just flip this switch. My test setup was let me get this back to, there we go. My test setup was that I hooked up a variable voltage and put that into here and would run the script and then change the voltage and observe how the servo would work. What I was looking for was a reaction that if the voltage departed from a certain area, it would move the servo one way or another. And once you put the voltage back in that area, it stayed. And it took me a while. I posted a couple of questions to the Pololu website. Really didn't get much of a response. I did finally get one answer about how the language worked, that it's based on fourth, and that helped slightly. But by the time I got the answer, I'd mostly figured out the program. So, before I go any further, I need to shut the camera off, and then I gotta figure out how to hook up my voltage sense to the generator. And then I'll come back. Alright, so basically I've got a wire that I ran through a space here into hook up where the voltmeter hook up. This voltmeter is connected to the generator itself, so it takes its reading directly from the generator. So I have this sitting on these foam pads to kind of keep the vibrations down. I don't want this thing shaking this all over the place because this is kind of flaky. Let's see here. I have a much heavier, I may end up having to replace it anyways. This is a much heavier duty servo than the one that's on there. So let me get you some headphones on. I'm gonna have to do some tweaking. Well, something's completely out of whack on this. I think part of the issue is that that servo just cannot handle it, and there seems to be something weird that happens when this is all powered on and the laptop is connected. I'm not sure what. So what I'm going to do is I've got to install this, and we'll see what happens after that. Alright, so it seems like the majority of the problems were with that tiny little servo. I've got this much beefier one, and I had to fiddle with the script again, but had to change some of the delays, because what was happening is it was responding too quickly to voltage changes. And anyways, I'm going to shut up. I'm just going to start it up and show you. I'm not going to put any kind of serious load on it. It's getting a little warm here, even though it's mid-November, and I'm going to call it a day. And we'll try another video later where I try to put an actual real load on it and give it an actual workout. So here we go. Okay, so I had to do some more tweaking, and what I had to do was add a bit more of a delay between when it checks for the high and low voltage, which gives it more time for the throttle to stabilize. It needs to be close to 24 volts. It goes through a buck converter and then comes out through here. Here is 12 volts. And so we'll read that off of there. And then later on I'll have to try and do this with more of a load. But anyways, let's put these on you. Okay, the battery wasn't on for that. Got a flaky connection in here. So let me get this over here. Okay, yeah, we're working. So let's get this thing going again. Okay, let's try this again. I had to rewire the power to the servos because it was so flaky. I couldn't get anything to work right. So, let's see what happens. All right, I think this is it. I had to majorly change the delays, made them a lot smaller, and I made the steps, cut them by a factor of 10 for hitting the throttle. And it seems like it'll mellow out, or it'll get stabilized faster. So let's see what happens. Okay, I'm stopping here for the day. That seemed to be a bit of a success. It definitely stabilized faster. It would go up to about 25 volts and then slowly come down and then kind of waffle in and out there. And then it would kind of settle in around 21, 22 volts, which is good. So I'm going to try again on another day. We'll see what happens. Later.